Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone, wherever you're joining from. Welcome to Future World Conversations, an initiative by Future World Alliance. AI today can process data, generate content, and move faster than ever. But there's one thing it cannot do: believe in human potential before the results show up. And that is where authentic intelligence comes in. Today's session is not about doing more with AI, it's about using AI to protect your energy, your boundaries, and your humanity. Instead of racing against the mission, what if we use it as an emotional buffer, a cognitive offloader, a support system for what truly matters, that is, the human connection and mentorship? We are joined by Tui, who leads the people plan with Microsoft Space Organization, a co-pilot champion and change practitioner. Tui brings a powerful perspective on how AI can help us move from thriving zone where performance and well-being coexist. As you listen, reflect on this. What is one thing you can let AI take off your plate so you can show up more fully as a human? With that thought, I will hand it over to Tui. Tui, thank you so much for doing this session for us. Over to you.
Thank you, Padma, for introductions, and thank you for having me. And I, as the person who leading the people plan in my organizations, and I'm in the position of sitting as the bridge, seeing between the leadership decision making in the AI era and seeing the teams who execute the AI strategy into organization. I just feel like there is something in there in this fast-paced environment. So I've been thinking a lot about authentic intelligence, and that's why the topic came into my mind. So I would like to share a little bit. I'm trying to share my screen. So this is a topic that I would like to share today. And before we sitting in the bridge, I can see that one side is efficiency of AI, on the other side is how we can protect the humanity. And because right now, with the AI moving so fast, there is a disengagement in the environment and the fear, hey, if AI can do many things, then what my role is right now. Before we get started, I would like to start with a story. Let me share with you a story. When I was in 7th grade, I wanted to transfer to a better school. And this kind of school is like change the trajectory of a child's education. To get in, I had to take a placement exam. So I studied, I prepared, and I hoped. Also, result day, I came to that school very early, tried to find my name on the board, and it's just like there because my name is TH, so it's very in the last bottom. I found that I missed the cutoff by half a point. I felt defeated by half a point. Do you know how offensive half a point can feel? It's not a full failure, it's almost impressive. I was so defeated, and right after that, I saw the teacher from that middle school that I tried to get into. I met her because she was the teacher, the math teacher who taught me in the exam prep, in that entrance exam. I feel really embarrassed. And like after 3 months practicing and learning with her, and now I like almost get into the cutoff grade. But here's the one thing. She told me, I will give you a second chance, but you have to promise not to disappoint me. Well, I cannot believe in my ear. She took me in, she override the system, and she took me into her class. So I got into that middle school because of her. So on paper, I was rejected, missed the cutoff. It should be the end of the story, right? But that middle school math teacher, she made the decision to override the system. And she told me that I see your potential. And that is how she took me into her class. And I had to really prove that I would not disappoint her. And that single human decision that changed everything. And because of her, I later ranked first in the entrance exam of one of the most competitive high school in the country. And my entire educational path in my life shifted because one teacher chose humanity over number. So the reason that I share that story because I would not have let me in for sure. An algorithm would just say 0.5 point short, reject. That's very efficient, objective, and fair, right? But it's completely wrong to me. AI would have failed me in that situation. And because what changed my life wasn't intelligence measured by a test, it was authentic intelligence. It isn't great, it isn't score, it isn't optimization. It's the ability of one human being to see the potential before it can be proven. So to me, authentic intelligence isn't about how much we know, it's about how we use what we know to impact others. And it builds on 3 pillars: the context, the why behind the what, and the courage to make unpopular human choice. Override the system, because only human being, the human skill can understand the nuance behind the data. And the discernment is knowing when we can see behind the data, and when we know the data is not really correct in the way that AI can process billions of pixels, but it cannot believe in a student like me. Only us, human being, or any educator would do that. So now AI enter educations and in our life at full speed, and everyone have a fear underneath. Okay, if anyone can install AI and learn anything, what happens to the teacher and educators? If knowledge is everywhere, then what is their role? And here's my perspective. AI doesn't make educators less necessary, it makes them more essential. Because when the answers are instant, the student needs wisdom. And when the attention is fragmented, they need guidance. And when learning is automated, they need meaning. And only human who can teach them to think, not just what to know, and how to choose, not just what to consume, and how to be human in the world that never turns out. And that's not technical skill at all. It's a modeled skill. So I think that the educator role shifted from being the source of information to architect of wisdom. They do not need more facts. We drowning in facts, but they would need the human to show them how to navigate the ocean of information. And I think the technical skill can be learned, delegate, updated, but the values are modeled. Judgment is shaped, and humanity is taught by human. And skills is downloadable, but humanity is mentored. So that's what I think. See, in this era of AI, the human skill is most important than ever, and that is the authentic intelligence. So because we have a very small group here, and I know that not all of us are educators, I would tweak this a little bit and would like us to open sharing and say, okay, if you are in this situation, let's say it's not just student, but let's say if you encounter a person who's struggling to connect with other, not just we immigrant, says immigrant, and also in the situation of student here, and we are struggling and we navigating between cultures. If you would going to help them, what was it? What the human skills that you would bring and to have in this situation? I would like to pause here and would like to open the floor for all of us.
Yeah, I would like to go first if that's fine. So I feel in this situation, obviously, the first thing that would be required as far as character is concerned is empathy and trying to understand that
when you were in that situation, how did it feel? More like, and also realizing that who was able to help you and what did they do, and then learning from those experiences and trying to apply it to the other person. Basically, it's just finding a way of giving it forward as a human to that person. So empathy and learning from your experiences would be most important.
I can only draw on my own experience in living in different cultures and can appreciate what it's like when you walk into a culture that isn't, native language. Where I would start and where I have started in similar situations is to ask a question outside of the context, but that everybody can relate to, and that is, what brings you joy?
All right, I'll go. Read mine here. It was belonging before language. Instead of trying to reach them through the curriculum or forcing a conversation, I would focus on creating a sense of trust and safety. Drawing on my own experience navigating between cultures, I connected through small human movements or moments, sitting beside them, using gestures, sharing a smile, inviting them into low-pressure interactions where they didn't have to perform. The shift came when they felt seen and included without being singled out. What reached them wasn't the words, but empathy and presence, the message that you belong here, exactly who you are. And that is ChatGPT's answer.
What is your answer, Ross? That's where we are thinking in a human way.
Yes.
Yeah, so something human.
Mine would be similar there, is really focused on trust. But again, as may have heard me say, the combination of human plus AI is better than either one individually. So if I had my human touch on that, I do think I would not have thought sitting next to him smiling. Maybe I would do that naturally, but I wouldn't sort of list those things. But I do think finding that common bond that isn't necessarily the curriculum or the classroom, and maybe it's drawing a picture or playing some music, something like that, to find some commonality, so that again they're not an outsider.
I really like the feedback so far in terms of what I've heard, but yeah, definitely you really want to look from their view, right? That's the most important thing. I feel like where are they at? Just meet where they are, right? I think definitely the empathy really is very critical, and also what really is going to bring the students joy, and just make sure that you're receptive and you're making yourself kind of available.
Sophia, do you want to add something from your perspective?
Hello, hi everyone. Mine is just simple. Mine is actually through eating, through food, because I think there's a lot of culture in there. So I think that's the most basic and the most simple one. That's it from me. Thank you.
I love it. Well, only women can really cook something and offer that. And that's that
Yep.
feel really warmth. It's truly warmth to have that kind of connections to culture and food like that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. For me, just one thing that I can really, really think about when talking about something human is that to be truly there and be fully present for even just 5 minutes. Because I just feel like we are competing attention with technologies. And in just 5 minutes and fully immersive and truly listening and be present and can really make the difference. Active listening, no judgment. We do not listen to fight the answer or give advice or anything. Just truly listen to feel what the frustrations that person have. That is one thing that I experience with. Sometimes I experience that with ChatGPT when I talk something. It does answer to me and say, "Oh, I feel that you're frustrated, but I do not feel the present." It says the things that I really like to hear, but I do not feel that present. So, all right, moving on. So I did a little bit of research and found that, and this slide deck is mainly addressing educators, but it can really apply to all of us in the ways that now the educators in the educator fields, they work long hour, but most of that hour is not to administration's activities, and not in truly teaching. And also with the staff cut, federal cut in educations, it's make it more burdened on the teachers and also make them burn out. And for us, I would feel the same things. We constantly have the ask to be more effective as the AI is come with the new tool, new capacity, and with the AI race. I just feel like most of us got burned out, and it's like, okay, if we hold on, we have only, then do we have the energy to really be human and be there and stay whole for other people who when they need us? So I think that we can really use AI's tool to automate and do all the administrative work with workflows, and use it as a boundary protector and a wellness coach. So in the other sessions that I did with Ross, and Ross had demoed the coach, that we set up that in ChatGPTs, and we pull in different, like you can choose Simon Sinek, Brown, Brené, and all the famous coach that we do not have access with, but we can ask the tools to use their methodologies and resources and use a voice to really give us the personal coach tailored to our own organizations. So that is a one way that we can use AI to stay whole and use it to protect our own wellness. And as Padma says, that we use AI as a cognitive offloader, and just let it handle the first draft emails, create a lesson plan, training plans, or even the project plan, so that it doesn't mean that we have to do so that we do not do more work, but it's more about we can stay whole. So here's another situation that I would like to engage the group here. Let's say if you're not a man or an educator or a teacher, but if AI, think about your daily life for now. If AI takes 3 tasks off your plate this week, which 3 would give you the most back and why?
Anyone wants to unmute and then go? It's not just for educators. Even you can think of your own personal work, your own in your own work life, how you can actually assign 3 tasks to AI so that your workload is less and you're not burned out.
I would say I love just using your last slide. I love the term around building the scaffolding. So I would let AI build the scaffolding of my lesson plans, do my scheduling, or at least some of it, and then respond to generic emails.
For me, the technology is not quite there yet, but I would love to have my digital twin sit in meetings all day and then just summarize them at the end of the day. I'm looking forward to autonomous cars that I can handle in my commute, and I can just sit in the back and then clean the house. I don't know if that would give me the most time back because I don't do it now, but it would definitely be a big step up. But yeah, I've thought a lot about like what do I do repetitively enough that I could offload, and I really haven't come up with a lot. I mean, I do, you know, I'll shortcut in emails and writing and stuff like that, but I don't do enough of the same thing every time that there's still a need. But I do feel there's a lot of meetings I could just send a twin, maybe say a few words that would be representative of what I would say, and then they could just take notes and send me a summary. So I'm looking forward to that day for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ross. I can't wait to have the automatic car and an AI robot in my house that can do all the chores that repetitively.
Yeah.
That would give most of my time back.
Yes. Well, if you find one, let me know because I need the same.
Yeah. So this I feel I want to add a little bit of perspective. I really love this question, and we are actually doing this in our organization, Future World Alliance. So there are multiple examples I can give. First is the one thing that comes into my mind is Ross's podcast, The Future World. Ross, you want to talk about the podcast that we are doing? AI
Yes,
and
it's
creativity
AI and
for Future
creativity.
World. Yes.
Yeah, so
So
it's,
what we
go ahead.
Yeah, so what we do with that is there are a lot of things that AI can do, and we are trying to connect AI, how it was done in the past and how creatively we can use AI in the current situation. And we are trying to bridge that gap in between how it was done in a human way in the past and also how it is actually done using AI in the current situation. So this podcast has given us a means to connect with the viewers, connect with the listeners in a way wherein we could give a perspective. And trust me, this has offloaded a lot of things. First thing, I know Ross is doing this, but I know how he's doing this. We created our AI twins, our voices, and then not like when we have to do a podcast, it's not exactly we do it every day. We don't need to record like the way they used to do in the past. So we have trained our AI agents in such a way that they actually learn the way we talk, the way we emote our emotions, the way we speak. And then with that, we are trying to give the script what we want to talk about, because AI has made it a much easier way to understand in the kind of learning and the teaching we can give it to our audience. So we have used agents and trained them in such a way. With this podcast, we are trying to get that perspective in a creative way to our audience. So that is one good example that we have been using AI, taking a lot of work offload from our plate. Ross, you want to add it on that? And yeah, Ross has shared that link in the chat. So you could definitely go and then listen to it. We release one podcast every week with different perspective, and it's really short clips where you can just on a drive, you can just listen to it and then have a idea what exactly how it is changing with AI.
Yeah, it's one of the topic is one I'm personally interested in, and I wanted to do something where I would learn. And pretty much every episode, I'm learning something because we built a custom Gemini model around creativity research. We use that to prompt and create a blog post for Substack. Then we feed that into 11 Labs, which does the podcast. We'll edit the script a little bit, add some emotion to the voices, and so start to finish, it's maybe 15 minutes, including 5 minutes to listen to the result. So it's pretty quick, but it is something where pretty much I think we're on week 7. Probably 5 of the 7 weeks I've learned some of the things. A great example is, if you think about Mozart as a creative person, probably everyone would nod their head, say, yep, he was pretty creative. But he was creative using machine. The piano at the time was as advanced in his time as AI is to us. And today, someone using AI to make music, they're just using AI. And so I never would have thought of that example. But human plus something else can still be seen as creative. So I thought that was just an example of something I've learned. But yeah, it's been a fun exercise.
Yeah, I also worked on to create a clone, but it's not a clone here. It's to me is not really a clone to myself, but I working on creating leadership trainer, facilitator, working facilitator plan, and I use Claude. I use Claude project. So I load the formats that I want in my leadership trainer facilitator sheet. The training template, the outcome that I would like to have, I load all that into Claude project, and then I can show you a bit. So I load everything into the files areas, and I have instructions. It's in the memory how I want the facilitations package gonna be, and every single facilitation package come out exactly the format, the font, the sign design, and the template, like the flows. It's exactly how I want it is. So. And I just really need to edit a little bit. So this, before, if I want to build a deck like this, it will take me a week just to design and to bring everything. But now with the tools, it can help me build this deck, and I only need to focus on delivery and give the participant the best experience. So Now, so that is one of the tasks that I really have been experimenting on, and it's worked for me, and it saved so much time doing that. Anyone else would like to share? What's the 3 tasks you would want AI to just take away so that you focus on the human side? Because like, okay, the training, for example, the leadership facilitations working package, it's AI can help me build the content and the planning based on the planning I give them and the topic they give them. So I can really just focus on the human side, which is deliver the facilitations and connect with the audience and give them a safe place for the audience to experiment and practice that training. So that is one thing that worked for me.
If AI took 3 tasks off your plate this week, which 3 would give you the most back? Okay. For me personally, I'm not tying this to the student scenario, but I know that it's very easy to do summarization and all of those things, but I think I need to probably get much better with maybe the prompting and using of the agents available within Copilot. And there are some repetitive things that without knowing that we are doing, even though it's in ChatGPT and everything's in front of you. So I think one thing that I would say is calendars, right? I know I can see calendars every day, but I get so like, ingrained into some certain discussions, and I am late to meetings, right? And sometimes like I skip meetings because I'm in some fire drill, because that's my job, right? I'm in operations. So I definitely need like some kind of a reminder. It should come in actually, either I know there's a calendar reminders, but I think there's something is missing. I don't know what it is. I think it's me. So I think I definitely want to be ahead of calendar reminders. And Padma have some comments there. I'm glad. I hope I'm not the only one. And then definitely, I think there's a lot of times that I do spend time with executive summary because of there's always P1, P2s or war rooms or anything going on. We want that to happen like without much effort, because we are pulling information from different places, and then we have to make that exec summary available. So I think that would be the second one. I would say, and then the third is really about just crunching numbers, looking at any of the documents and whatnot, which actually we are constantly going and looking at multiple locations, and that's the nature of the business. You name the file certain way, you have to open multiple things. I'm also playing around with that, like how can I bring multiple documents and then summarize it. So those are the places where I spend. I can think of probably a much elongated response, but those are the 3 I can think of. Padma?
Yeah, just wanted to share with a fun way. Maybe you can create a clone of yourself, and then you can be in every other meeting possible. But technically, you can do that. But that's where this conversation is heading, where we can make it more human. So I think one better way I can think of is, first thing is being very proactive in, sometimes the calls and the sessions, they overrun, but definitely sharing your perspective much ahead in what you want to share with the team to your for that particular meeting. Maybe that would help to keep in aligned with what you wanted to share when you are physically present in those meetings, or virtually present in those meetings. Send it to your team so that when you are delayed to the meeting, or you're not able to attend that meeting, they still have your perspective on what you wanted to share, so that they have a discussion and you have a feedback afterward. So that's just a small suggestion. I was just saying, I know things run out of hand, meetings overrun, but maybe having some kind of pre-notes shared with your team, that would help in being more present.
Yeah, I agree.
Small suggestion.
By the way, it's mostly me, but no,
Yeah.
I totally get it.
Yeah. Well, the good news is that because you use Copilot, and good news is that Copilot can really compile multiple documents. And I do not know if you have notebook in Copilot features, because it depends on the subscription and different package. But there is a notebook, Copilot notebook. So that is where you load multiple documents and variety of type of documents. It can be Excel, it can be PDF, it can be document, Word doc as well. And you just load every single thing in that notebook, and it can really help you extract the information from those without you have to go through every single of them. So that's the good news. That's the good news.
Yes. Yeah, I've heard about the notebooks. I think that was in the session right before I joined. So I'm definitely going to go dig into that.
Yeah. Yes, I use that. It can. The other day I was just like, I load the map in PDF and an Excel, and I would just ask Copilot to find me the discrepancy. So the map is a sitting map, and Excel is like the allocations, sitting allocation. And I just load it into a notebook and I say, find me the discrepancy between the sitting map and the allocation to see if there is anyone that I have not allocated the sitting, or anyone that allocating the sitting but not on the map. Are there any mismatching between the allocation and the location on the map? And it's just gave out hopefully the right correct answer. I test it out. So good news. Good news.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, that's good to know.
Yes. Okay. So this is the framework for 2026 and moving forward, right? Artificial intelligence is gonna speed, scale, tools, repeatable task, and data processing, and authentic intelligence is provide a meaning. The more time that we can save from AI, that is a time that we focus on the human side and connect with the other people. And to me, that is something that right now we diminished. I would say that the words maybe are not the right word, but I feel like the connection, human connections, kind of diminished a little bit. I do not know if you agree with that statement. So because everyone connects with social media, connect with AI and have their own personal code and chat, right? So, but then how we cannot automate the human connection? That's the only thing we cannot automate. Yes, we can really use AI tool to help us find a person, but it cannot really help us truly connect with someone else. So that is what I think about now and moving forward, is using the time that we save by AI tools to be more human and to connect with other people. And
I really liked, sorry to interrupt. I really liked the tagline. The tagline. That AI scale the learning and you scale the meaning. I mean, it's very profound, I think. Because there's a lot of confusion. I mean, it's like, how far you want to go and depend on AI to do everything? Actually, it's really not, right? You own the decisions and the outcome, right? You have a kind of a deep thinking partner with you. So let that do the research and everything else. So I think it's a good call out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I like that too. It's like it's right now, it's a lot of people, not just students or teachers, but everyone, even in the corporations, they have to complete the meetings, like the purpose. They have to compete with that because, okay, if AI can do this task, and what is my role? That is, I would say that's the question for everyone, not just teacher or student or like corporate worker. Because like a lot of people, and I would like to share this. One software engineer positions opening, I saw 1,000 applicants. How can, there's no way the hiring managers can really read every single applicant and screen it. And obviously they have to use AI to help screen the applicant. If you do not have that human connections, how could you get the job? It's impossible. That's to me, it's impossible. How can you bypass the system? Because it's on the system, it's AI. It clearly say this is a job description and this is a resume, and it will just scan and matching. If there is no human connection in interviews or like talking and get to know the hiring managers or get to know the candidate, how can you find that? How can you find the candidates, or how the candidate can get the job if there's no human connection? So yeah, it's this is a tactical shift, and we already talk about it. Obviously, we automate so that we can reduce. So just let the AI take the friction and do everything. Make a clone of yourself, like Ross and Padma did to create the podcast, or like me just create the project. And so makes the clone so that you can use this clone to do the repetitive stuff, and so that you can save time on there, and then protect the present. Like this is not just one-on student connection, but I would just say that use that time to make more human connection. Because I think that like apply to the situation of the recruiting. If we do not make the connection with other people, it's very less chance for us to get to even bypass that resume screening. Right. And the next one is the shift number 3 is model humanity. And this is not just for educator with the student to model it, but I would just say that in workplace or in any other places, we gonna just model the humanity skills, get the meaning, get the present, and have that critical reasoning, so that we can really show what the values that we have in the era of AI. And I think that when we make this shift, we will not be a victim of the technologies, and we will start being the architect of the experience. This is I would like to pause a little bit, kind of the check. What AI tools have you been using to save time and energies? There's a lot of ChatGPT and Claude and obviously Copilot. What about you?
Yeah, I too have been using a lot of ChatGPT, Claude, and I'm also into vibe coding. So there's a tool called Lovable where you can build like web apps. So I've been using that a lot recently.
Yeah, I have been using ChatGPT at work mostly, and then I use the Teams Copilot that's within, and then at home I do use Claude, and I just started using Gemini as well. So I have Gemini on my phone, so I ask any questions and things like that. I forget to use it actually, so I need to really start leveraging that. But it is definitely saving time and energy in terms of instead of research and things like that. So I think I don't know how many of us are actually now going to multiple websites to find things. I think we all go to any of these Gen AI models these days. It's my or I still go to Google at times. It's still then I turn on the AI mode. So yeah, those are the tools I use.
Yeah. How about you, Liana and Sophie?
So ever since we had the kind of Claude tutorial, what was it, about 3 weeks ago? I've been using Claude a lot more, which is great. I just did a silly little thought experiment 2 days ago, though, for a LinkedIn post, and I basically used the top 4. So I used Copilot, Gemini, Claude, and Chat to ask them all the same question to see who would come up, what their differences were. And it was just kind of a fascinating, it was simple. There's a big collegiate national NCAA basketball tournament going on for the entire month of March. It's called March Madness. And so I asked all 4 of them initially who would win. And then that became kind of a silly question. And so took it from there. But the whole point of it was to see how the same prompts put into all 4 would show up differently.
Yeah, I was about to say about the AI the conversation we had a couple of weeks back using Claude skills. So I just shared the link. You can go back and then check it out.
Is that
Yeah.
the same session that Lynn was referring to?
Yeah,
Or
that's the
different
same one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Got it. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I just want to share that just I do some experiment to test the bias as well. And I found that one of the AI tools, when I say that create an image of the professionals, leaders, always give me a white male in suit. And I have the prompt with Gemini create, and it's give me a white girl and young. so I would just like remove all the instruction because I want to test if what's the first outcome that they give out. So okay. Right. So I would just say that the Thrive message is about recognizing technologies which should serve humanities, and futures of us is empowered and inspired. We are all empowered and inspired to use every tools available to build a bridge. And this is like for educator, but we use AI tool to protect our humanity so that we can model with other people. And that is a kind of takeaways. This is because this is the message for the educators. With that, I would like to conclude here and would love to connect with all of you and continue the conversation. And this is where you can find me. And I would love to hear your comment, feedback, and continue the conversation. And yeah, let's continue to be human in the world of AI.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tweet.
Really appreciate it. I enjoyed the session. Very thought provoking. I think it's very important because your first question, your topic was really about, think from kind of the human angle, because right now everything is AI, right? We have to do everything, go fast, 100 miles per hour. But end of the day, I think we have to think from that angle. So I appreciate that. I'll make sure to stay in touch, and I think I'm kind of enjoying this group audience learning together. So I got to jump. Thank you, team.
Hey, thank you all.
Thank you.
Happy Friday. Bye-bye.
Thank you. We appreciated this a
Thank you.
lot.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Thank you.
And you too. Yes.
This was really a great conversation. I really like the framework that you have shared, especially with the tagline, let AI scale the learning and you scale the meaning. So that is really powerful, and thank you so much for bringing that perspective to us. So we have our new website all built and ready. So whatever conversations, whatever new updates and the cohorts and the upcoming initiatives that we are going to have, everything will be shared and updated on our website. So do follow our website and subscribe to our Luma calendar for next conversation next Friday. Until then, take care and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Padma.
Bye.
Bye.